We OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Yeah. Experts on reload. Yeah. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock. Ayy. Runes is coming. Everybody on a knot. Ayy. It's a nuisance. Ordinal Revolution. Ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro.
Run stuff.
Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nuki on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution. Ayy, Bitcoin is the one, no substitution. Ayy, with Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystems. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We are live for another Ordinal Hour, like we are all week, guys. It's Thursday. People are dumping right now, and we think we know who, and we think it's just a small little thing that's happening. But we are seeing some good price action today. But yesterday was kind of like, what is going on? The ETFs had some inflow yesterday, which is good though. But we definitely see, the Joe Biden administration definitely dumping. We're gonna get into that stuff. I think they're trying to pay for something overseas, but we'll get into all that stuff. But it's just funny that they're coming out, they're joining the round table, but they're dumping Bitcoin in the back end, which is great. But tonight we do have the Trump debate tonight. That should be fun and exciting, and some really good positive stuff I think comes from that. But we will see. But without further ado, I'm gonna bring in my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Yeah, man. So, what's going on? How are you feeling? Are you dumping Bitcoin? Is it you?
Yes. I got in at 10 cents, and I can't wait any longer. No, it's not me. I'm definitely not dumping Bitcoin here, but somebody has. I've called for a healthy correction. I've not necessarily called for it, but I think it is healthy, right? So I'm okay with this. I think we got a little bit more pain, but not very much longer is my outlook right now from what I'm seeing.
100%. Let's kind of get right into it then. We do have a lot of Bitcoin news here. This is pretty crazy and awesome at the same time. Satoshi or Bitcoin wallet, and what that means, but before he left. So Satoshi left, I want to say 2011, 2012, but he was around since 2009, January 2009. So anything above that time period is called Satoshi era, and the coins that he was mining as well. So Bitcoin wallet just moved 3 million worth of Bitcoin from 2010. The owner of the wallet hodled from 10 cents to 60,000. So what do you think happened? Do you think this guy finally got access to this wallet, or do you think he said, okay, I used all my other Bitcoin in this wallet, I have to go to this wallet now? And he moved it. It didn't go to Coinbase, didn't go to any exchange. It just got moved from one wallet to another.
Yeah, I think we'd all be guessing as to the reason why he did this. But I think you can't not be happy for the person that's, hodled from 10 cents to $60,000, right? That's a lot of hodling, but he probably doesn't need or didn't need to pull it before, right? Because you would imagine he'd be very, very tempted, he or she, by the way. But yeah, so I'm interested to learn, what this is about. It could be I imagine there's people in those early days that just felt so convicted in it, and they just put Bitcoin in multiple different wallets, and they've kind of, like you said, gone through some, maybe not necessarily spent it all, but just wanted to shuffle things around, right? So yeah, it's kind of.
I think this could be just like good hygiene, right? Just like, okay, I have way too much money in this wallet. If anything did happen to this wallet, I want to be, be ready for it. Or it could be something of the lines of, hey, like, this is my kid's wallet. This is my kid's Bitcoin that I'm hodling since then. And they're 18 now, or how old they are. And I'm getting ready to give them their Bitcoin as well. So it could be something like that. I mean, I could definitely see that's something I want to do as a parent. I would love to, eventually when my kids hit a certain age, be like, hey, this amount of Bitcoin is yours. So it could be something like that too. I mean, I guess, like you said, it's all guessing, but it's fun at the same time to see, this legend of a person, 10 cents, dude. Absolutely amazing.
It's crazy. Did you see the total balance in the wallet? Do you know how much?
No, I didn't.
Total ones? Okay.
No,
I'm curious. I imagine if he's held it from 10 cents to 60,000, that he has quite a bit more than $3 million worth, right? So, that makes a lot of sense. The speculations of possibly giving it to his kid, or when they become an adult, and they're an adult now. So that's awesome that he could do that, though. Man, I'd be like, Dad, you are my hero. Or Mom, you are my hero.
You gotta remember too, like back then it was probably like dust. You know how we have I have wallets with I don't know, 60 cents in there, some wallets are like $4 or $5 in there, and I just kind of discard it. But imagine 15 years later coming back and it's worth $3 million. It's really nuts. You know what I mean? It's wild. It's wild to think about.
But 10 cents. So you're right. To them, they were like, oh, this is not that much, but yeah.
I mean, do you think about it? How many Bitcoin is that? 10 cents. So every dollar was 600 grand. So it's only $3 or $4 worth. It's pretty wild. All right, moving along here. Breaking news: Coinbase sues the SEC and FDIC, alleging intentional efforts to isolate crypto sector from banking service, which their words is Operation Choke Point 2.0, which was heavily documented last year. They pretend like it didn't happen, but we lived through that. Right? We lived through Operation Choke Point when they went after the banks who were friendly to crypto. I think it was Singular and there was another one. They were the only banks that Coinbase was using, and they had to pivot after that. So Coinbase is, they're going back after the SEC. He's coming after taxpayer money, and he's suing the SEC. So, and I think this is amazing.
This is crazy. I love the joke from The Office when Michael Scott says, "So the turns have tabled," and I feel like that's what's happening here, right? I love this. The crypto companies and centralized exchanges and stuff are going on the offensive now, right? Because they smell blood in the water. And I think that this is a sign that we're probably in safe territory for a while, right? Unless obviously if Biden wins re-election, I think he flips script very, very fast. But if Trump wins the election, then I think we're going to be in a good spot as an industry. So I like to see whenever there's confidence in these kind of companies, and they're going after the entities that need to be gone after, right? There's a lot of shadiness that's happened coming out of those entities. And so I think that this is, it's enjoyable to see them get a little bit of taste of their own medicine here, even though this is warranted and the stuff that they did wasn't.
You know what I was thinking about this too? This is actually something that could give this administration the go ahead to axe Gary, right? They can put all the blame on Gary. They can say it's all his fault. It's all Elizabeth Warren's fault. It has nothing to do with our administration. We had nothing to do with this, and it kind of keeps their bloody hands, cleans them up a little bit, right? Because obviously we know that it came from the White House. I don't think Gary's just going to do that off Warren's guidance, I guess you would say. It's definitely coming from the bigger heads, the bigger figureheads. So I love this. I love Brian Armstrong. He's like, one of the few people in crypto who's never really had their hands dirty at all. He's never, I mean, from from my perspective, he's never really done anything wrong at all. So this is pretty awesome that, he's doing this. So.
Yes.
All right, moving along here. So U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs, they finally break the outflow trend. They have $30 million of inflows yesterday for the first time in over a week. You can see that in the charts, especially yesterday. So you think people just came in to buy the dip?
Yeah, that's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to get these cheap prices because even if it goes a little bit lower, I don't, foresee this getting to. I don't think that third option of 50,000 happens.
Yeah.
So to them, they'll buy at 62, 61, 60,000 if we touch 58 again. Maybe 57, 58, 59. They're okay with that, right? So it's like not being too greedy, just trying to get in at these lower prices before the trajectory changes.
100%. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I just think that this is Wall Street. This is the hedge funds and stuff like that. They're playing this like they play everything else, right? So when Nvidia was dropping, they were probably selling, and then when Nvidia is up, and which that just causes risk on and risk off. That's all that is. It's a flag for it. It used to be Apple, now it's Nvidia. Nvidia goes up, it's kind of more risk on. When Nvidia goes down, it's kind of risk off, because at the end of the day, Bitcoin is technically a tech stock, right? That's how they treat it over there in ETF world, more of a tech stock than anything else. So it kind of flows with Nvidia.
Yeah.
Jumping on to the next thing here. Alleged, but we know it is the U.S. government, while it has transferred 3,940 Bitcoins worth $241 million to Coinbase, as reported by on-chain sleuth Look On Chain. And then the U.S. government charges Coinbase for operating as an unregistered security exchange. Also, U.S. government uses Coinbase to sell hundreds of million dollars of Bitcoin. So I think that's pretty funny. What you have any opinion on?
No, I think it's hilarious. That's literally the state of our government. Just such hypocrisy there. But I believe they did sell the Bitcoin, and it didn't do much in terms of damaging the price. Obviously, we've been going down, but I don't think it was that necessarily. Because I think that happened just yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think this is a nothing burger. But it does show, that the government's probably like hurting for cash to be able to do certain things, initiatives that they want to do, whether that's help overseas or, whatever they're trying to do with this budget. But it is funny though, that they use Coinbase to do that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this is definitely, when they seize money like that, this doesn't come from the taxpayer. So I think it's easier to justify using money from here to go pay for things overseas that is putting us in such a crappy situation that it is. So this is one of those things where, I just can't wait till an adult kind of steps in and says, what the hell are you guys doing? And then maybe we go the other way. Maybe we start buying Bitcoin for the treasury instead of selling it. So that's probably something that I can see happening. But it just sucks that, they're selling at 60,000 and they'll probably have to buy it back at 300,000. So that's just how our government is. They're a bunch of stupid old people who don't understand money. They don't understand. I mean, I'm serious. They don't understand how the world works. They're career politicians who never ran a business. They've never even participated in business. They've just, lived off taxpayer money their entire lives. They did not understand money. And of course, they're not going to understand Bitcoin and why selling here is stupid. But it is what it is.
Yeah. I agree with a lot of those points. But I think, if we look back at the history of our country, you can tell that slowly but gradually the capitalism kind of turned into just these lobbyists really controlling our government. And that's why you don't see any like CEOs really supporting Trump, because that relinquishes powers for bills to get passed through, for new laws and rules. They don't like that, right? But the further you get into that, the less that like our actual government controls anything, right? And they don't like that. Trump just has that personality where he's not going to let that ride. He wants to control, like be able to make some of these decisions, or at least be a large part of the influence. And that's just never really been the system, I don't think, especially in the probably forever, but
Yeah.
you know, I can remember from the 90s on up, right? So it's gonna be interesting what happens with this election, because you know, for crypto, it can definitely like turn very bullish very quick, like extra bullish, and during a bull run, it's like perfect timing, right? So we shall see what will happen.
Or very bearish if it goes the other way. If we have 4 more years of this administration and their views on crypto, then we might, you know, not see the bull run that we're expecting. And I think that's kind of why we're waiting here. We're kind of hanging out, and we could hang out here to November. You know, I see a lot of people saying now we go sideways to November between 60 and 70K, which would be really bad. But at the same time, you know, it's only a matter of time before you can coil it up so much before it snaps. And if we do end up being here till late October, early November, you could see this thing fly up, you know, hundreds of $1,000s after the election in a matter of months. I mean, hundreds of
That
millions
would
of
be
dollars.
very, very crazy. Yeah.
So billions
Either
of
way,
dollars.
we're going to see, you know, Bitcoin reach a certain all-time high, and we'll have like our run. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that one way or the other matters here in terms of how intense it will be.
And I hate talking about this election, but I mean, that's what it is right now. I mean, that's what, you know, that's why tonight is so important. Is really hope that we'll see something really good tonight. So jumping on to the other thing is Bitcoin and Ethereum transaction fees plummet to lowest levels in 7 months, which puts us to December. And we were here in December, and it was absolutely amazing. I think it's probably not counting April, because April was a really good month for Bitcoin transaction fees. But I think it's probably an average. But it's really low right now. Why do you think
Was
it's
it
really
bad
low
in
right now?
December?
December was big. I think that's what I'm saying. It's the lowest level since December. So December was it low in December? It must have been Ethereum they're talking about here.
I feel like in January, after the December, January, like BRC20 is like cooled off a lot, right? So the minting and stuff, like those minting crazes and stuff, like really cooled off. And I mean, I think I need to dive into like the actual statistics and metrics, but I've seen some people post them, and BRC20 has definitely created a lot of transaction fees because of mints and transfers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, some people have said, you know, that's part of what's been taken away. Now, regardless, I think that there's always going to be like, you know, highs and lows of transaction fees for miners, right? And right now they're just hurting. So what can get these transaction fees up though? That's the question, right? Because it's, I mean, Runes isn't really doing it. You know, it's not really creating a ton of fees. So what do? Do you just kind of just say, okay, well, BRC20s was a part of that, like tap could potentially like create this big, you know, minting spree situation, and it will function similarly to BRC20, right? So then you have like another I guess time period of transaction fees spiking. But you know, was it you that said that Runes consisted of like 60%, or Magic Eden consists of 60%?
Magic Eden consists of 69% of all Bitcoin transactions.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think we just need to get some more clear data and see what exactly is going on. But I did see like CB Spears and a couple other people say, hey, let's get more transactions going. But I mean, when you take BRC20 away, which is a big contributor, then, you know, what else can you do?
Yeah, you basically take China out of it, right? And China's not minting anything right now. They're not minting any runes. But you know, I just think you just need risk on. I think that's all it is. I just think you need you know, you need Bitcoin to go up, and when Bitcoin goes up, that signals risk on. And once that happens, then you could see this stuff. But you're not going to see stuff that you know is a leveraged Bitcoin play go up or be minted in this market and do well. That's why I'm seeing here, and like people are asking me, hey, are you bullish on this mint? This is minting here, or this collection is dropping. You bullish right now? No, I'm not bullish on anything until Bitcoin gives us that risk on signal. I mean, there's no reason to buy it. You're gonna get a lot cheaper in a week. That's just, I mean, that's just what I'm seeing, right? So every time there's a mint in a week from that, after that mint, everything's cheaper. Like, so to me, it's just kind of a waiting game until Bitcoin can get back to all-time high, and that's when it might be good to start looking at the collections that have minted in this bear market. And don't get me wrong, I think the people who are minting and stuff right now are smart, and they're probably gonna make a lot of money. but it's going to take a risk on movement by Bitcoin to get them to that prices to kind of go up. So it's just a waiting game for Bitcoin. It's a waiting game. So right now it's just kind of a dead zone, but that's why that's why the fees are low. We're waiting for, maybe the Ethereum ETF could spark some altcoin jumps, but we don't need Bitcoin to go up first.
Yeah, well, the whole Ethereum ETF and altcoin, I do think that there's going to be a positive connection there. But in terms of minting a lot of stuff right now, I think you got to be careful, because you got to really look at the mints that have like solid, strong teams, really solid, strong teams, because those are the ones that are going to continually try to pump that collection once the bull, like things become aggressive again. Because like during a bear market, like if there's like 10 mints right now and only 2 of them have like strong like marketing teams and social media teams and stuff, then that's going to be tough, right? Because like 8 of them probably never see the light of day again. So that's why I'm staying away from it. Or if there's like one that's like super hyper aggressive where I'm like, okay, this can work. Like I feel like ALU has that because it's like cultish, right?
Yeah.
And Bitmap Emporium. And that was kind of whenever things were still pretty good. So it was the tail end of it. So you saw these 2 teams go really strong and build communities. So I'm okay with like holding those during like the slow periods. And then once it gets bullish again, they're planning for that. What are we going to do for whenever the liquidity comes back? So that's just kind of 2 examples where I think like, getting cheap collections in a down market makes sense.
Yeah, and Bitmap Emporium, to your point, they're just really discovering DMT stuff right now. You see Limitless really coming out, and we're gonna get into that later. But they have something. They're gonna talk about some stuff tomorrow in they call it the Emporium, but which is their Discord. So I'm curious what that's gonna be. There's gonna be some news coming out from them tomorrow, but they do have the NatBats. They're dropping at some time, but you will need a Bitmap Emporium to basically claim. That's what he's saying. You're claiming your NatBat. You're not minting it, so it's yours already. So it's just waiting for you. So, or you're waiting for it. But yeah, let's jump into some other stuff here. Some Bitcoin price action. If you would kindly show us what you are seeing on the charts, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But before we do that, I'm going to do my spiel here. So if you guys are on the YouTube side, please smash that like, guys. Smash that like for us. It helps us a lot. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. On the Twitter side, please share this space. We want to educate as many people as possible and like that Twitter spaces as well for us. All right, let's jump in and see what we got. So, I spoke yesterday on a lot of these time frames, and I said I wanted to see some more data before I could make that strong Friday prediction. And I feel like I still need more data. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, actually, I do, but I'll try my best and see what I could do here. But on the 1 hour chart, you can see it was more of a bullish morning than we had yesterday. And we hope that it continues for the rest of the day. Yesterday was more of a descent the entire day, hanging around between 62 and 60,000. I think we touched high 59 once and then jumped right back up. So, and then it really stuck at like 61,000 for a long time, like heading into the nighttime over here in the US, and then popped back up this morning and had a pretty aggressive run up to about 62.3. And so, we were in the oversold for a very long time. Since 2 days ago, we entered, or I think it was like the beginning of yesterday, and then we came out of that, and that's kind of this right here, what you're seeing on the stochastic RSIs, that part of that run up this morning. We still have we're still in the green in terms of the MACD buy pressure, but it is starting to lighten up. But the blue and red lines are still a decent amount apart. So what I'm looking for is for us to get, really to that $64,000 mark today. I know that's a lot. You're like, well, we're at 61.6. Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because for the next 2-3 days, it's going to give us some confirmation if we can get there. So this is the short term. I'm expecting a little bit of chop between 61.5 and 62.3 around there. I don't really see any drastic moves for the rest of today. And then you look here on the 4 hour chart. The 4 hour chart was very interesting, but I'm really seeing here, I'm starting to see like a bear flag form, right? Initially was trying to make this into a positive, like a bullish type of pattern, but I couldn't really find one in here, This isn't really a cup here. This is very sharp downturn and then sharp upturn here. But I am seeing a bear flag type of approach here. Maybe a triple bottom. If we do that, then we can bounce out. But I'm going to show you what I'm thinking here. So this is the bear flag that I see on the 4-hour chart. This is the same chart. I can just draw on it. You can see the, possibly forming here. So we might see a little bit more up for the, rest of the day. Like I said, we could see it, as high as 63, or if it does something crazy, go higher than that. But I see a situation like where this plays out, right? To where we get to like 63,000. We don't get to that confirmation price of 64,200 to let us know that we've changed trajectory, fully. And then we touch down one more time before we explode here in, not necessarily explode, but, get back to the high 60s in the first week of July, maybe second week of July. So that's what I'm seeing on the 4-hour chart. And then the last chart right here is the 12-hour chart, which is the one that we've been hanging out and oversold for a very, 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 very long time. And this is a very, very good sign for the next 2 weeks, because we have bounced up out of this, oversold zone finally. We do need to continually push up to try to get into the overbought, that 80-point mark on the stochastic RSI here. If we do that, if we continue up here, let's say that, we get to 63, and then we touch back to 59, that will probably bring us down here, and then we just blast off. Then we can hang out in the overbought for a while, because as I mentioned, we've been oversold even here on the MACD, showing the sell pressure. But that's a long time, and it's closing up. It's getting weaker and weaker. So I think we're just about done with that. So yeah, 3 different time frames there. This is what I'm thinking. If I were to pick a price for tomorrow, I'm sticking with my 59K.
Dang, I hate it. I want to see more bullish, man. Let's see more bullish. But thank you so much for that, my friend. So what are you thinking for the weekend? Do you think if we do get to your number of 69K, or 59K, do you think we have a good weekend? Do you think, because obviously Sunday is the monthly close. I love the monthly close because we get another dot on the plan B chart. Do you think that potentially we see up going into July? We know July 2nd potentially is the Ethereum ETF. July 5th is when a lot of bigger traders get back to their desk from their sell and main go away. And then we see August coming, and a lot of people like to front run August as well. So you do see any positive going into the 1st of July?
Just because it's the month end, possibly, but I still think we end red compared to the previous month. So, I could be completely wrong about tomorrow. I'm calling 60, 59. But we could just chop and sit where we are right now. There's no reason to really like dump hard. There's no reason to really pump. But some people might want to show some strength for the month end, so that could bring some strength back into it. But I don't think we end green, because I think we'd have to pass 67K to do that. We're just not going to, I just don't see that happening unless there's some big news, unless people are super bullish on the debate tonight or something, and Bitcoin is talked about a lot or something. That could happen. Yeah. That could happen. People there could be like Michael Dell or some big celebrities post about it and correlate it to Bitcoin as well. So anything can happen. Everybody knows that. But if I were to guess, I would, maybe in the month at like 64, if we get to those touch to 59, 60, just to kind of have a bounce back over the weekend. Weekends are usually not super aggressive, but it is month end, so that's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. If let's just say Trump says something about Bitcoin on the stage, like you try to crush it, and Joe comes back and says like I actually like Bitcoin, or I personally hold, or something like that on those lines. Obviously, we don't think he's going to say anything like that, but you could see Bitcoin huge jump at like 9 p.m. tonight Eastern time, like 9:30, 9:45. So, I mean, they're not going to say anything against it, because they're obviously, they're trying to get donations in Bitcoin right now. So I cannot see them saying anything negative, only positive. So we'll see. But you guys don't watch the show for politics. You guys watch the show for the roll call. I think everyone just watches it for the roll call. So we're going to hop right into the roll call here. So, we we got my man. So I'm gonna call this the dead zone because YouTube, you guys are in here at 3:43 p.m. yesterday, and then YouTube erased them. It's not us, guys. Again, it's not us. So if you do put it in here at 5:13, I see 6:51 yesterday. They got deleted, but I'm gonna read from the dead zone as I call it. But Tim Baker, he said he was actually first, and he's actually first again. But I know Yasher was first regular. But from the dead zone, we got Tim Baker. We have I Walk Alone. Mr. Hanky in the dead zone. We have PJNZ and my boy Danny Boy D Blocks in the building says yo in there. But the live stream is what we get. So I'm gonna give the flowers to the person who is first on this part right here at 7:20 a.m. this morning. Yeah, sure. He says, hey guys, and you, my friend, win today. You are number one. You are first is first, and you are in. So Yasher wins, and Yasher's a winner.
Congrats.
Guy always wins. Yep. And then we got PJNZ in the building. He says, looks like it did, but I'm back. I'm not dumping. I'm scooping. PJNZ is scooping right now. And then we got one of my favorites here. No. In the building. He says, GM, everyone won't be joining today, but we'll catch up when possible. Have a great show. Thank you so much, my friend. You are a hero in my eyes. Rick G's in the building. He does not give up on BRC20s, even though they're probably going to die. Fractal Bitcoin is like 6 months away. And fractal, as I like to call it. But then we got Lackey Lukey is here. I Walk Alone. He's a GM, Ordinal Revolution fam. Don't forget to smash the like button and share on all socials to get the channel to 30K. Thank you so much, I Walk Alone. You are a hero. Mighty Sonu is in the building, followed by Joko is here. Chief Axel, Reziak is here. Tim Baker, AOD Art. We appreciate you, my friend, as always. One of our mods. Akala is here. Marcilio is here. Mauricio. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. Crypto Hot News is here. PDX is here. Let's see. Danny Boy is here again. Sane is here. Tim Madden is here. Sixes is here. I got a tough one here, man. Pantaloni. It's track multi-bit many X projects. What is multi-bit?
Multi-bit.
Got us caught off guard there.
Yeah.
Let's see. John is here. Appreciate John being here every single day.
Oh, you know that is that it's a BRC20, I think. This is unlocking liquidity for BRC20s on EVM network. Okay. Mubai. Remember Mubai?
Oh,
that's what it is. Yeah, we know Mubai. Mubai.
Yeah. Crypto Cats is here. BitRenz is here. Superman himself. Kal-El is here. Patty Poo is here. Sixes is here. Let's see. Ant-Man is here. Mike's World is here. Shout out to Mike's World. And then Jonathan Mitchell, your first time here, but we appreciate you here, my friend. And then USX Quantum just sneaks in. And he said, multi-bit, that's what bridge pubs to Solana. So we appreciate every single person that makes a roll call every single day. Thank you guys so much. If you guys don't know, the first hour is, just a show and stuff like we prepared for. But the second half of the hour, we call it the Ordinal After Hour. That's when we dig into all your comments and all your questions. We did miss some questions yesterday. The show went kind of longer than we expected. We did have a call. But today we're going to sit here. We're going to knock out all your questions and all your comments. So please put as many comments in here as possible, many questions in here as possible. Smash that like for us. But we promise we'll get to all your questions later on the show.
Yep. Make sure you put your questions in there, guys. That's our favorite part too, interacting with y'all. And we're gonna start doing some giveaways for the people that interact. So we're not gonna tell you when exactly. So just always be ready.
Yep. So on that note, we can probably tell them what we'll probably be giving away here. So we're gonna be giving away. So tomorrow. It's Send Hives, right? So we get the Hive passes are coming live, and we were gifted a couple to give away to our community, so we want to do that for you guys. So it's going to be a point system. I'm counting, guys. The more comments you put in there, the more points you guys get. And so potentially you guys can get one of these Hive passes, but it's going to be up to your points. So put some comments
for that day. For that day, because we're not.
Well, I'm counting from now. I mean, I'm gonna give one away for.
But are you gonna? Oh, so yeah, but are you giving away? Are you gonna give it away at the end of the week? You're gonna keep track of all the comments.
Well, I mean, we're not going to give them to tomorrow, so we'll give it away next Friday. I'm going to keep track. So one of them will go to the person with the best comments, I think, right? I think that's pretty good. And the one person with the most, if you put in there a bunch of Qs, I mean, you could potentially get it. I'm just messing around. We haven't talked about this yet, guys.
He's like making the rules of like on the fly right
now. No, I'm just giving ideas and stuff like that. So, but still, I mean, it's probably still worth.
Just know that we are doing a couple giveaways for those Hive passes, which I think are going to be valuable down the line. Not financial advice, but that's a pretty cool prize to win.
No, you're definitely going to want these because they're going to be on Merlin, and you're going to be able to get some really, really cheap fees on Hive. So when you're buying and selling, if you do trade a lot, you're going to be very, very well off using that. And also, who knows? We know they have a token, a rune that potentially could come to some holders of the past as well, but that's not detailed yet. But that'll come out from it's not official, but we'll see. Here we go. We got some Merlin news here. Surf.1 liquidation promotion. If you have gotten liquidated in the past, you should be able to claim Merl on the website. I was able to claim Merl, which I don't know what that says about me. I got
I was able to claim Merl myself. 30
days, so
yeah. So let me share my screen real quick because I want to show this. Is that the right one? Yep. Okay. Cool. All right. Can you see? Okay, so if you go to surf.1, you should see this banner right here. It says, well, can you see my screen?
Yeah, here. Go.
Okay, there it is. Yeah. You can see this banner here that says announcement, attention surfers. We are airdropping over 200,000 Merl. Claim here. You just click that claim button here. And then you make sure your wallet's connected. And if you've gotten liquidated in the past, you should be able to claim some Merl. I was able to claim my Merl today. And then if you've taken a long on actual Merl, you might get a little bonus too if you got liquidated on actual Merl as well. So Surf is just doing it for liquidations. And then Jeff actually from Merlin Chain threw another 100,000 into the pool for people that took longs on Merl to get some Merl claim on the airdrop. So that's big. Anything that you're getting airdropped and free is always fun. So I just wanted to show that.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's $60,000 are given away. 100,000 Merl right now is around $35,000. And so that's a lot of Merl, guys. So that's $70,000 potentially that you can get a piece of that. So let's see the next thing here. So this is we can do the Bitcoin feed and greed chart. So
feed and greer,
baby. Feed and greer. If you ain't in the fear and greer, you ain't in here. So show my chart here. So we got it at a 40 right now. It was a little lower this morning, but yesterday was at 46. Last week is at 63. So it's definitely going the fear way, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a little volatile recently just because there was a decent pull back up, and so I expect it to, unless there's like 2 weeks of like red or 2 weeks of green, you're not going to get one way only, right? So it's doing what it's supposed to right now.
Yeah, man, doing what it's supposed to. Being a good boy.
How do you feel about that score though?
I think it's fair. I think it's a fair score. I mean, you can tell by the transactions. I think when the transaction fee is high, it's more greedy. Obviously, people are buying, and then when it's lower, people are putting their listings up. I think so. We'll see. You can really get a telltale of that with Dog as well. If Dog is down on the day, you definitely people are fearful, and then when Dog is up on the day, you definitely see people being greedy, and that kind of goes with everything else too. When you take a look at that, you can kind of see if you should be buying anything deeper, anything more degen than Dog, because Dog's degen as it is, but you can get more degen with things like Mr. Yen and stuff. So
yep, man.
All right, this is just kind of a announcement here. Just want to, if anyone's holding a ZBIT and just forgot to claim their ZBIT rune, so you got 4 days left to migrate your BRC20 ZBIT into the ZBIT runes. So if you don't know what that is, definitely check out the BTC Machine site. They can walk you through everything there. I'm sure they have stuff for you, and if not, reach out to Mr. Lucky. They'll definitely help you out, but definitely get that done, guys. Don't lose your money here, because this will go to zero.
Yeah, that would suck if you guys just put it off and you end up getting screwed, because they will close that down eventually, I imagine.
Yep, man. All right, jump to the next thing here. Odin Swap is in the testnet. What the hell is Odin Swap?
So Odin Swap is it's not a decentralized exchange. But it is, the closest thing that we could probably get to. So it's a swap.
Yeah.
But you'd be able to swap your runes into BTC, buy runes with BTC. This is a project that the Ordzar team has kind of taken under their wing here, and just look. I'm not shocked because Nakeeb is an amazing person in the space, but he's all for the degens too, right? And so the degens want what the degens want, and he said, why not just create it? And so his team went to the drawing board and they have Odin Swap now. So this could be big depending on, how it goes. So if you guys are a part of the Odin Swap Discord or even the Ordzar Discord or community, ask how you can get into this test net, because I think that would be really important if you want to use something that's going to function a lot like Uniswap on Bitcoin's native layer. Now, there's going to be off-chain computation and all that stuff because it's the limitations of Bitcoin, but it'll be fast because of that. And they are taking a centralized approach, and there's just no way around it at this point, right? You even heard Casey say, why not invest in like centralized applications on Bitcoins? Not everything needs to be decentralized, but this one, you're going to have a lot of people on both sides of the fence, right? They just want to stick to, permissionless and stuff like that. But I don't know. How do you feel? How would you feel if there was something that was created by someone from the Bitcoin community or a team from the Bitcoin community, but it acted more like a centralized exchange in terms of swapping, tokens and stuff like that? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, 100%. I'm completely okay with that. So we met on Nakeeb for the first time in person in New York, and he kind of told us about Odin back then, and it was very top secret at the time. I couldn't tell anybody, so I was just telling everybody. But no,
one drink in you, and you tell the world everything. No, just kidding.
So no, he told me about Odin Swap, and I asked him. I said, how does he said he was talking to Casey the previous days about it. I said, how did Casey feel about it? And he said Casey was down for it. Casey loved it. Casey's biggest fear is MEV on Bitcoin. Obviously, we see a little bit of that with the sniping and stuff like that, but it can get way worse, and he doesn't want that to happen. So using these centralized swaps would actually be good in Casey's eyes, because he says when he flies on an airplane, he doesn't use a decentralized airplane, right? When he gets his haircut, he doesn't use a decentralized barber, and you don't need them for decentralized swaps. You can have this, but the best part about it is there's no KYC. There's no, which isn't a big deal. I mean, for a lot of us, we don't care, but for some people it is. For some people, they like privacy and stuff like that, and it's not really about like, taxes. It's just more about, you don't want people to know that that's your wallet, because you're afraid for your life in some situations. So some other places in the world are not as friendly to that. So there's no KYC with it. The swaps will just be like them sending it to your wallet. So it won't be like kind of how Magic Eden is, where you can snipe a transaction and stuff like that. Because I don't think you sign PTSDs and stuff like that, right? Or maybe you do.
PSC or PSBTs.
What is it? Yeah, PSBTs are.
Yeah, so
it's probably signed Bitcoin.
I mean, look, from where I was listening to the breakdown of it, the whole approach is to make it feel as much like a DEX as possible. So I think it's going to be, the least amount of barriers. And, to be fair, there's been a lot of conversation that I've seen on TikTok as well as Twitter timelines as why can't these Bitcoin meme tokens get to $3 billion, $4 billion, $5 billion market caps? And the answer is very simple. We trade fungible tokens like swap meets over here, right? Like we're like, okay, I want to sell this, and then someone's like, I want to buy that, and then it's just not a fun experience because of unfortunately the attention span of today's society. They want instant gratification and they want it now. So when you see that market cap grow in front of your eyes, you get more, like, your imagination grows, and that's why those market caps can jump up. But this could solve that issue, something like this, even though it is centralized, right? Now, where I think the problem is going to come in is people are always going to question, the centralized entity that's managing it, right? And if you think about it, Bitcoin's limitations may, and I know some people may hate this, but it may actually create a balance between like centralization and decentralization and what's needed and what's not, right?
Yeah.
More of a traditional business model of today's businesses, right? then I know you're going to hear the argument of, okay, well, here comes the regulators, here comes the departments that like regulate every little thing of different things, and you know, at some point when those started, they were there to help, you know, and they helped a lot during like a growth period for industries. But is it inevitable? That's the question, right? Is it inevitable? And plus, if you don't like it, you don't necessarily have to do it. You can go to another EVM chain or something like that and do the decentralized route. But I think the decentralized route will eventually go down a path of more gambling, more risk, more gambling, and the centralized approach could be more like, okay, there's safety here. They're backed by insurance. They're backed by this and that and this and that. So people will at least have a choice. What do you think?
Yeah, I 100%. I agree 100%. But yeah, I mean, you could there will be like something like Fluid where, you know, it's permissionless, you know, it's just limit orders, you're swapping it out. So you will have that, and that's very decentralized, right? In a way, I mean, I guess you would say permissionless, not decentralized, because it is a centralized backing. But with Odin Swap, I mean, we trust Negitive. I mean, I trust Negitive. I think Negitive's one of the good ones in the space. You know, and they do the amazing job with their marketplace now with Ordzar. So it's one of those things where they're taking another aspect, another approach, and I think they're going to do a good job with this. I'm very impressed by what I've seen so far of the testnet, and I just think that he has amazing devs, and I think this is going to be really good for the space and really good for me, because I like to trade and I like the swapping factor. So if I can get, you know, a trade really quickly, I'm down for it, especially if it's not order book style. If it's kind of like boom, boom, I want to get rid of this right now, right this second. I don't want to have to list it. That would be really awesome. So,
yeah, and I think that if this is very simple, eliminates the barriers, because that was the argument that I was seeing on TikTok is they were saying like people from Solana, people from like these other chains that don't have a ton of experience. They're like newer over here. This is their first time doing it, and it's easy. You just, you know, go to Radium or whatever swap, Jupiter, you swap, you know, whatever you want. Same thing with these other EVM chains, and they want that like Robinhood experience, that simple, quick experience versus, oh, how do I do this? You know, transfer inscription definitely confuses the hell out of people, but like, you know, splitting runes as well or whatever, right? Just all of that makes it harder. If something like this can really make those barriers go away, we could see an influx of users. Now, if it doesn't happen, then I think we have bigger problems. And what's the problem now? You know, is it a marketing issue? Is it you know, just the way people think about Bitcoin's blockchain?
Let me ask this question. Because Magic Eden is the leader in the space. Magic Eden is the king of everything right now. 69% of all volume comes from Magic Eden on Bitcoin layer 1. If Magic Eden puts out a swap before Odin puts out a swap, does Odin become a factor, or do you think it will still do well?
Well, I think Magic Eden's approach, or at least from what my understanding was after I read a Medium article when they first talked about it, was they were trying to do what Fluid is doing now, you know, to make like basically the way that Magic Eden has done the popular ordinal collections, to where like I feel like that's living liquidity in a sense, the way they've done it. Like if I want to sell my frog, I can sell my frog today. I just have to sell it at this floor price, right? So the more that you get those offers piled up, right, the better the liquidity is, right? And so I think that's what Fluid, and I think Fluid's really smart for taking this approach first and putting themselves out there. So I still think that Odin Swap would have its own kind of you know, because it's easier to do it with like actual liquidity pools and stuff like that, right? You don't have to wait for all these you know, offers to line up or limit orders to line up. So I think Odin Swap can definitely still have that approach. Now, if Magic Eden flips the script and they just say, okay, we're just going to centralize this thing, then that's where I think they'll win.
Yeah. All right, moving on here a little bit. So does Bitcoin need a layer 0 approach? So if people don't know what a layer 0 is, there's a few big layer 0s in the crypto space right now, Polkadot and Cosmos. Polkadot is a layer 0. There's not anything really built on top of Polkadot besides these L1s. These L1s include Moonbeam, Astar, you know, Hydration, and many more, right? And Polkadot just seems to be like that bridge. So if you want to go from Moonbeam to Hydration, you can kind of just send it back to Polkadot and then right onto the other one. So it's just it's like a medium of, you know, it's a medium of transactions, a medium of security. Polkadot does also, use its layer 0 technology as a security blanket. Same with Cosmos. Cosmos has changed, like, I'm blanking here, but they have hundreds of things there. So it's kind of the same thing. Could Bitcoin be that layer 0 approach and have things like TAP and BRC20 and these other ones? Because actually, you can't say Runes is a part of that. I mean, it could be, but Runes kind of works the same way with Ordinals. But I guess the same way. I guess they're still on kind of
Yeah, they're meta
on
protocols
Bitcoin.
regardless. And I think that, yes, I think that could work very well, especially with no core, upgrades to Bitcoin Core,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's actually probably inevitable that it does happen. If it, and the only thing that would stop is if like opcodes get added in a month or two,
Yeah.
right? So even if after this happens, if this becomes like there's a layer 0 kind of acting this way, then opcodes can still come after that and it'll just make things better, right? So I want to play something though from our guy Jake.Sats posted this as a clip of Bob Otterly from our friends from Blockrunner. By the way, we'll have Bob on today for a recording, so watch out for that episode. But I want to show this and kind of pull from his perspective as well. So give me a second here.
New chains and protocols.
Give it a second here.
I love his hat. It's a nice, cool hat.
What is going on? Of course, whenever I want to share.
Well, it's because you're
New
streaming.
chains
That's
and
why.
protocols. I think we do need kind of a layer 0 for Bitcoin. We have some people kind of dabbling in this area with like bridging BRC20s to Ethereum, or with this like TAP integration, bridging TAP tokens over to other chains.
Uh-oh. That's what happens when you're live.
Of course.
You just want to give a breakdown of what he said?
Yeah, I mean, so what Bob was saying is that he thinks that it's needed, right, to have kind of this, or he thinks it's a great approach, right?
Yeah.
So one thing that was very interesting was, I think he talked about Bionic and ICP technology being that bridge that bridges all of them, right? So like whenever you bridge from Polkadot to one of their layer 1s, or from a layer 1 to another layer 1 there, what do you use? There's like a service, right? Or like a product.
Cross chain platforms. Yeah, there's multiple.
Okay, so the fact that like he's talking about this, and if you've watched Bob, you know that he's highly intelligent. He knows the space. He's been working on it. He's built this kind of hybrid layer 2 of ICP, and so it's like he knows what he's talking about. So if we see that, like when will that come? Maybe like 6 months if they actually are building that now. But I think someone that is in daily debates, which he's in daily debates on like, oh, what fungible token standard is going to be the winner? What is the future of Bitcoin DeFi look like? For him to come out and say this, I think that this could be something that has legs.
I agree. Yeah, man. So what would that look like in that sense? Like,
is that something that you would want?
A layer 0? And I mean, if Bitcoin, it is.
It's just basically it's more of a perception. It's more of a perception of Bitcoin being the layer 0, right? And these meta protocols being able to bridge between each other, and you got to help facilitate it, right? So whenever you're in the TAP ecosystem meta protocol, you do TAP ecosystem stuff. But if you want to bridge something from Runes over there, there's a way to do it. And so, do you think that's a successful looking future for Bitcoin?
I think that's the future, no matter if you like it or not. I think it's destined to happen. I mean, there's just too many amazing builders who are building stuff. And like we were in a conversation yesterday, and one of the things, something came up, and we're like, how haven't people done this yet? And he was basically just like, it's just that's the stuff, that's the error that we're in right now, is people haven't tried everything yet, and it's just like, so that being that, it's basically means like there's going to be so much opportunity for things that are so there. It's already built. It's able to do on Bitcoin. It just hasn't been done yet. And by doing that, you're going to need so many different meta protocols and different entities doing things on Bitcoin. And you never know, Michael Saylor's thing could technically be another part of this layer 0 that Bitcoin is, right? So it all really just all comes back to Bitcoin, and we just need tooling and infrastructure to kind of put everything together.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I wish we could talk about what you just brought up, because it's so
I didn't give too much away though, right?
No, you didn't give.
Okay,
you actually probably teased a lot of the people.
Yeah,
it's huge, guys. I'm gonna tease it even more. I'll throw some
there's
more
something you
tease
can do
on
on
it.
Bitcoin that no one's using, and it's going to be special. But jump into the next thing. I kind of got into this a little earlier, but we'll say it again. So tomorrow, Ordinal High passes are live. They're basically free. They're 500 passes. It will be on Ordzard. Follow the Ordinal Hive Twitter account. Are you waving at me? Like, what's it?
No. I feel like part of my face is like I'm fading away. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So
distracted.
tomorrow, no worries. Tomorrow, I'm not sure the time. Follow the Ordinal Hive Twitter. You'll have everything you need. We'll post as well. If you follow an Ordinal Revolution Twitter, we'll repost it and quote it as well. So tomorrow it'll be it'll go live. There's 500 passes. I think one announcement that we have to make is if you are an Ordinal OG holder, pass holder, they gave us 50 whitelist spots because there's only 500. We fought to get everyone, but we just couldn't do it. But there's 50. So tomorrow, definitely, if you do hold a pass, go check. We can probably have a list. So we can probably
I already put it. I put it in the
Discord,
the OG pass holders channel in our Discord. So there's a list there, guys. It's a Google Doc. Everybody can have access to it in that channel. So go check and see if your address is there for the whitelist. So if you do have your pass in a security vault, you won't be able to mint though. So we did mention that on the show with Abdul like 2 weeks ago. So guys, if there is a big mint coming up, I know that this was kind of it was actually kind of sprung up on us to be able to do the first come first serve. But if you're listed there, then you will and you have access to that wallet, then you'll be able to mint. But you're gonna have to kind of hurry because it is first come first serve.
Yeah, so the easiest way of doing that is just take the Google Doc, copy up all the addresses, put it in ChatGPT, and then send it, and then ask ChatGPT if your address is in there, and then you'll get a good response. That's the easiest way to make sure that if you're on there or not, and if you're not, don't worry about going there. I mean, but you can still get in. It's all whitelist, right?
The easiest way to do it is if you open that Google Doc, just hit Control F, which will bring down a field, and then paste in your address, and it'll find it in there for you if it's in there.
Good. Yep. Coach Cash says late bud made it, and he put his coffee and his donuts in there. We appreciate you, Cash. Thank you so much for always being here, my friend. All right, jumping into the next thing here. Ticketbit surprise announcement. Ticketbit fans, this is a tweet from them. We're thrilled to share that Ticketbit is now live on Magic Eden, surprisingly fast. And I actually grabbed one yesterday from that. They got super cheap. They're like $50 there. So if you're interested in getting a Ticketbit, Magic Eden is your place. Go to the Ticketbit Twitter for the right link to make sure you're getting the right one. But they're pretty cool looking. Did you get a chance to see?
Well, and I think like the there's like a working clock on it and stuff like that. You can add like a DMT project to the face of the thing. You can add them to your. I think you can add the Ticketbits to your Apple Watch or digital watch, I believe, which is really, really cool because they're starting to integrate some really, really cool stuff with the DMT. But I'm actually more shocked that we got Shizzy talking about DMT like consistently now. What's up with all the DMT guys? Where are you guys at? Aren't y'all got to be ecstatic about this? I mean, y'all converted this guy like you were, door to door like Mormon here.
Yeah, they kept knocking on my door. It's like, Shizzy, you gotta get in this. So I spent the time. I did the research. In the beginning, I wasn't bullish on this because there's really no marketplace, right? I mean, there really was no dedicated marketplace, and within a few days, we're potentially going to get that marketplace, that dedicated tap marketplace that will have DMT, tap tokens and everything else. Maybe even some pipe tokens. We're not even sure about that, but that'd be pretty cool if it's all in one spot. I mean, stupid not to. or maybe that'll come later. But this is getting bigger. I think once you get a dedicated marketplace to only tap DMT stuff, or tap stuff, and DMT has become the ordinals of the tap, right? So the NFTs of tap. So I can't see anything else really winning. And we did have some early tap NFTs that never really took off, but it seems like DMT is going to be that. And I like to be early to everything, and this is just another thing that I think that I still have time to be early for. And I think ticket bits are pretty cool looking. I do like it. Obviously they're gonna have to get on chain, because right now these images aren't on chain yet, but they use a recursive endpoint to kind of put these on chain eventually. So we will see if that gets done, or if it's done already. I'm not really sure, but definitely.
Yeah, I mean, the images are there, but does it say images off chain? Is that what it says?
Can't see it right now, but it said earlier images are not on chain.
Okay, so yeah, they'll probably get that added then.
I mean, it's not saying it anymore, so it might have already.
Maybe it is added, yeah.
There, but yeah. But there's two buys right now. Take a look at these. They're like $60 right now. So there's only 1,500 of these. Definitely cool.
I think one of the smartest things that Benny and his team did was integrate the DMT indexing into their ecosystem, because you automatically gain like a community that is crazy about nerding out about DMT and UNATs, which makes sense because I love the concept too, right? But like it's weird. It's like this part of the tap ecosystem that's there, and there's a thriving community with it, but like not parts of the tap ecosystem might not participate as much in that, and parts of the DMT UNAT might not participate as much in regular tap. But there's going to be a good amount of crossover too. And so I think that's why I think it was really, really smart. And I think that DMT helps tap's ecosystem propel to that next level and hangs around.
Yep. I think they need each other. I think tap needs DMT and DMT needs tap. I think Benny and the MScribe guys, or BlackRunner guys, they're doing a great job. And I think this community just gets bigger and bigger. And it takes it definitely takes some time to onboard, whether that's DMT and tap. But I think once you get it, you get it. You understand it. Oh wow, like there's so much you can do here. And guys like Limitless, that's really where it pushed me when he started talking about DMT and how it's really big and stuff. Limitless is someone who sees things early. He's an alpha member in the Tokyo. It's one of the bigger alpha
Neo Tokyo.
Neo Tokyo and stuff like that. So he's big, and he has a big following, and it's only a matter of time before people follow his lead. And if he's getting into DMT, it's definitely something to look into. So I'm definitely bullish on the nap bats. And dude, ticket bits are big. The M Crown is definitely something that I think could be monstrous. And obviously the Nat Cats and the Royals too. It's definitely something that I'm looking into every single day now. I go to MScribe once a day, just kind of see if anything new popped up to mint. And I just like being early, and we still have that. So.
Yep, man. I'm excited to see what else comes from that, because I think there could be some really cool gaming that comes out of that whole community of builders there.
Well, speaking of Limitless, the Bitmap Emporium Twitter posted this tweet post. They said, join us tomorrow inside the Emporium. So the Emporium is their Discord. So hop in there to discuss the current state of affairs, gain the latest alpha on the Bitcoin ecosystem, preparing you for the bull run ahead. So he's not only going to give you maybe some news on what they're building over there, but also he's going to basically give you some alpha calls from Neo Tokyo itself. So definitely want to. I'm going to try to jump in there. I got to figure out the right time. And all I know, it's like 4 a.m. UTC, which I think is like 11 o'clock tonight. I don't know, something like that. I'll have to look into it. And so what do you think? Bitmap Emporium.
Bitmap Emporium. Is that what you're asking me about? Sorry.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about
questions lined up? Good. I'm big on Limitless. I think that like he is like the perfect type of project leader. Obviously, we're still getting to learn about him and know him, but like the guy travels. Whenever the leader of your project travels to conventions and these events and stuff, and trying to make business partnerships and connecting with ecosystems right away, those are really good signs, right? Obviously, that's not the end of all of your research and stuff. You got to keep doing your research on them and stuff. But I mean, so far so good. I definitely give him like a B+ A grade so far of a project founder. I'm excited to see what else the Emporium has, because they've definitely locked up a couple really good partnerships.
100%. Moving on to the last thing before we get into the after hour. I apologize for being a little late this, but this is some news I still want to push out here. So Ghosty Cash, they tweeted out or posted out yesterday. Soon you will get the chance to burn X% of the Ghosty supply. We will hold a vote next week using the new governance feature. So they're actually implementing a new feature into Ghosty.cash. I'm curious to see what it looks like and what it is and how it's going to work. But they're going to be burning some bots, Ghosty. So the bots that front ran and were holding
Minted.
and every single day minted and you know, they're going to be potentially destroying their Ghosty cash. What do you think?
Well, I mean, they're putting up a vote, right, for governance type of vote. So it's going to be a community that decides this, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be them, which I think is really, really smart because initially I think they were going to make the decision.
Yep.
So, you know, I think a lot of this had to do with some bots that probably minted, you know, tens of thousands of maybe hundreds of thousands of Ghosty and just slowly just eventually came to like just so much sell pressure that like there could never be momentum, like no matter how Ghosty was doing as a project or anything. And so that puts a damper on the community of Ghosty, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you know, I think putting a vote to it is fair. We'll see what happens, what comes of this, because it won't be them making the choice. It'll be the community. And I love whenever a token supply gets burned because I'd love to see that go from 33 million to 21 million.
Yeah, man.
Which is a lot of million.
We'll see.
Getting burned.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You think it's that much? 33 to 21?
I don't know. I'll just like those. That's
Oh.
like my hope. Obviously, it's probably not anywhere close to where it will be, but yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Welcome to the after hour part of the show. So this is where we kind of get into all your comments and questions and kind of get into everything. So let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, 216 people in here, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on this kind of bloody and slower week. But we'll start off with Joko here. It says, good morning. You've probably mentioned this before, but will those of us who put our Ordinal Revolution OG Pass in the Traverse Vault receive an airdrop? And you should have already received the airdrop, but it is dropped to the security vault address. So you can move those out whenever you want, but they should be in there. So double check that, make sure that you've got it in that actual security vault. But yeah, so everybody that did it before the cutoff date, which I believe was June 10th.
Yep.
I think that was the cutoff date.
June 10th.
Should have received a certain amount of Traverse Tap tokens. And so just for clarity, one more time. So if you have your Ordinal Revolution pass in a security vault, now that the airdrop has already happened, and we do an airdrop, or one of our partners does an actual airdrop, you can still get the airdrop. It'll go to your security vault. But if you need to do a whitelist mint, then you've got to pull that Ordinal Revolution pass out of the vault. So you can use the vault for other items, your frogs or something else. But the OR pass, if you want to participate in whitelist mints, have that in a wallet, probably with nothing else in there, and just dedicate it to minting whitelist stuff.
Yep.
Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, and guys, pull your passes out of there now. So you get the full experience of putting your pass in and pulling it out. So and that way you'll feel comfortable in the future about putting stuff in and pulling out. But pull your passes out of there so you're eligible for the future whitelists and stuff like that. So let's pull those passes out of Traverse. I know we told you to put them in. Now we're telling you to pull them out. I think it's best for you to make sure you get the whitelist. But we're only saying that so you get the full cycle of how Traverse works and how easy it is to pull it out. So pull it out, get them out.
Yeah.
So, and on next Wednesday, we're going to be doing a live tutorial of pulling my personal pass out. So
yeah, unless you're super paranoid about losing the pass. Yeah, I agree. Oh, okay. All right. Next comment here by Yasher, one of our mods. We appreciate you, sir. He says, I'm on Chinese chat rooms on Telegram. They're having a problem with other Chinese that are scamming each other on runes by creating similar tickers with slight difference. Dude, like this, like when I read that, I was just like, oh my God, like how did we not think that was going to happen with these 13 character tickers? No wonder the Chinese are in the East are like turned off by like the minting and stuff. They're not going to mint, dude. Like I wouldn't trust anybody. if I didn't know the language that well, and then you get thrown off by like a little letter here. Imagine if we did it by the opposite. We had to read these Chinese characters, and it was just off by a little line or something. We'd be screwed, right? So, yeah, I think there needs to be maybe some of these etching services need to have officials or like shorter names, and only that specific room gets that dedicated shorter name or something like that. Because I agree. I mean, this is, or I don't know if Yashir thinks this, but I think this is really tough, and it would make me not want to etch anything or mint anything.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, we got to start having better awareness for that type of stuff. The Chinese are here, and we need them to participate because they are one of the strongest with liquidity. But yeah, I didn't think about that at all, honestly. So something that could say, I don't know, billion dollar cat could be, an L could be an I, and they're not going to see a difference because they're not used to really looking at it like we are. We can catch it right away, but someone who's reads a different language and stuff like that, they're going to miss that. Like, oh wow, it got really cheap, and they're going to buy it, and that sucks. So
yeah.
But
for the 4-letter tickers, it was easy. So all they have to do is literally type in the ticker, 4 letters on the computer, and then it's eady. But like these 13-letter tickers is really where they can get thrown off. But I think that there'll be a solution for that, and that's what this all comes to. Like, everybody, all the builders in the space really need to follow what Magic Eden's doing right now, and identifying pain points for certain groups that are effective enough to make a difference, right? So China East, of course they are, and solve those pain points, right? So that's what all the builders need to do in the space, and especially these etching services.
Well, the 13 letters does go to 12 in August and 11 in December.
Come on, bro. I love the like optimism. You try to find it. But like
and then in next May it goes to 10, and then the
8 years later we're down to 8.
August of 2025, it goes to 9, and December of 2025 it goes to 8. So we're getting there. We'll get to 4.
I mean, was this a chess move by Casey
to stop it?
Yeah,
to kick Chinese out of
because the volume was like so substantial, right? Like it was clogging up. It was making fees high.
Yeah.
But man, that would be really messed up if it was a chess move.
Yeah.
And so I mean, we'll never know,
things
right?
like that. I think Casey's more of just like he was just trying to like put a stamp of his name on it. I think that's all it was.
Yeah, could be. It ended up working out though for trying to get control over fees and inscriptions and all that stuff. So I don't know. Obviously, I'm gonna be the one that always wears the tinfoil hat because that's who I am. But I'm not crazy. I promise you guys. I just think that everybody's out to get me. I'm just kidding. All right. Fixit says people scooping up these lows in Atomical Atom.
Nobody's buying Atomical.
TAP, DMT Nat, Quantum Cats, or LM Lambda could be in the Hail Mary end zone past scores of the cycle. This BTC protocol's narrative could change on a dime. Yeah, I mean, definitely that last part of your statement is very true. It could change on a dime. Yeah, I think it's gonna be very interesting. I think it's gonna be hard.
Marketplace had $10,000 in volume yesterday.
Really? What are you looking at? Atomical's market?
Atomical's market, yeah.
Yeah. Who else sells those? Does OKX sell Atomicals?
There's another one, but this is the winner. This is number 1.
Yeah, SatsX does as well, I think. Yeah. But yeah, that's crazy low. Yeah. I mean, what can you say about that?
No one's buying this stuff. So an Atom is 50% of that. So Atom's has $5,000 in volume. I'm sorry. No, I'm wrong. Quark has $5,000 in volume. Atom only has 2.5. Sopon has 1.1, and Neutron has $400, and Electron has $300. So that's really it. I mean,
yeah,
it's Quark, dude. Quark's got half of the market. It's wild.
Yeah. And on SatX, Toothy is the number 1 trending NFT. It's just crazy.
Should I pick some up? No.
Those did get pretty high at one point, like almost $3,000
$2,000.
each.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yasher says, just in, U.S. Supreme Court limits SEC use of in-house judges for fraud cases. That's huge because now they can't cheat.
Yeah.
I'm watching a show called Your Honor on Netflix. It's really, really good. Bryan Cranston is a judge in there, and it kind of like makes you think like he's manipulating things because he's kind of forced to, because there was a situation he got stuck into. But like, dude, SEC using in-house judges for fraud cases. Come on, that's like conflict of interest.
Yeah.
I'm so glad the U.S. Supreme.
I have to check it out. We've been looking for something to watch.
Yep. And I'm so glad that the Supreme Court definitely did that. At least limit them from that. So here's a good one from Reziak. He says, what stage of this cycle do you guys think Ordinals get their next pump? So the Ordinal collection, when do you think they get the next pump?
So I think when Bitcoin gets to 75,000, I think right now we are still in the belief side of it. I don't think we've really seen anything else. Because if you guys think that what we've seen in October, December, and March is anything, you have no idea what's about to come for Ordinals and stuff. We're going to see so many X's over here. And we truly believe that. That's why we are Ordinal Revolution. This is why we stick to this one chain, which is Bitcoin. And so I think you're about to see an explosion in the next pump that you probably don't see coming. And I think everyone needs to be prepared, get your bags ready, because we're going to see, we're going to see runes with multiple billions of dollars in market cap. And we're going to see, some side chains really blow up. And we're going to see a lot of innovation happening as well. You can see a lot of new projects that are just building right now in secret and silence, and going to be pushing a lot out. One of those being tapped. So we'll see.
Yep. I think that we still got to get like that first, aggressive run up from runes before we or tap. Like, I think it's fungible markets turn first. Like, we got to start there. Draw enough new users of the fungible tokens over here, make profits, and then that funnels into the Ordinals. So I think that probably next Ordinals run up, depending on how well and when the fungible token markets really take off, it could be. So let's say that's August. Let's say through July, it's like building up, and then August, like, BRC or runes, BRC20s tap, they all have like a good run. I think like you could probably look at like September, October. So it'd be kind of close to last year too. I think last year, November was whenever the frogs got to 0.4, and then things started following it afterwards, right? So it could be similar to like last fall, winter. And it will be, I think it will be pretty substantial on the next one up, honestly, because I think it's going to be when things are good. Things have to get really good first before Ordinals or NFTs do anything. And so I'm thinking like late August is the earliest time period. Probably September, earliest time period. The latest time period, maybe December.
I actually think late July. I think just because of the Bitcoin conference, I think a lot of people are going to get introduced to Ordinals for the very first time, and I think the onboarding process is going to be huge, because I think we're going to show up in droves. I think the Ordinals, you're going to see Ordinals on people's shirts, people's hats, and all types of stuff. People are going to be wondering what is going on over there, and I think it's going to push a lot of maxis who have never really been in Ethereum and stuff like that over to Ordinals. And I think we could see a monster pump, especially with the bigger collections in late July, early August. Yeah.
And I think that this Bitcoin conference this year is going to be much different than the one last year, which was one last year was much different from the previous ones that people said with like Ordinals interest, and Ordinals just had really gotten on mainstream in February, I think, of last year. And then so you had February, March, April, and I think it was in April or May. It was May, the Bitcoin conference in Miami. So you only had 2 months before Ordinals was actually even mainstream. So now it's been like a full year, right? I think that we're gonna see the maxis that attend this, like there'll be some that probably, like Greg will probably be there, those other, but then there's going to be some that converted, and they're still maximalist in terms of Bitcoin's the ultimate best asset or whatever, but they're open. They like having fun with Ordinals and stuff. I think it's going to be really, really cool to see this year. Yeah. So make sure you get your tickets with us so you can get a 21% discount if you go to our website.
Don't pay full price, guys.
All right. Good question, Rosiak. LSR says, are Bitcoin puppets and node monks a good buy for the medium term?
So on the rise up, node monkeys and puppets really went up because it was a huge Ethereum crowd, I think. And you saw them dump once the Ethereum ETF was announced. And I think a lot of them took their gains and they took it back to Ethereum with them. I think once people get this, the ETF news goes up, Ethereum gets to like 5K. I think that money comes back because they're like, oh wow, I don't want to miss out on what's happening in Ordinals again. So I think they went back home, and they're going to come back again. I think a lot of that money comes back in. They're going to have to buy them higher than they sold them, though, for sure. So I just think that's what it was. I think Ethereum ETF took a lot of people back to their native chains, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think that the node monks is, I'm just bullish the most on them, and I don't even have skin in the game anymore because I flipped mine too that I had, but they get down cheaper, they get below 0.1. I don't think I cannot get some, So I'm actually a lot more bullish on node monks than I am puppets because of the history. There's a historical factor there. There isn't a company like Bored Apes, behind node monks. There's just early inscriptions with. Yes, I think some ETH big players came into it, but I think there was enough Ordinals people in it to where it will sustain. So I think that midterm, that's right now it's cheap. This got to 0.85. Well, I mean, what do you see node monks and Bitcoin puppets? If you were to do all-time highs this cycle, if you were just to guess complete speculation, you're probably going to be very off. But I'm just curious what your thoughts are on those two.
I think they're going to be around 100K, but that 100K is 0.2. So I think they go up. Yeah, they go up against the dollar, but they're going to hang around where they're at now.
All-time high.
Go up a little bit. I think the all-time high is in. I don't think it ever gets to. I mean, we're talking. I'm thinking Bitcoin's hitting 700K. So for them to get to 0.8 in that type of market, they're going to need to get to like $500,000, $500,000, which is possible for the aliens, but not for the floor.
Yeah, I think they get to higher than what they've hit. Well, at least the node monks. I don't know about the puppets. I honestly, like, for me, that high inscription number does matter to me. It does matter to me. Now, it's that's why I would rather pick an opium all day over a puppet, because I feel like the opium has the history behind it. The puppet craze can fade out. But the opium can never fade their inscription number, which is 300,000, which to me is the same as frogs, right? So, and then node monks is at 80 something thousand. So for me, I feel like node monks will pass 0.85. I think they pass a full Bitcoin for their floor. Puppets, I don't know if they reach the back to 0.4. They might, because it might just be a cycle thing. But long term, I would never hold a puppet. No offense to puppets. I think you guys are amazing, strong community. But long term, I'd rather have an opium. That's still some respect. You guys did enough to bring up opium, in my opinion, because I really wasn't thinking about them before. Reziak says, yo, spam comments should be negative points. What do you say about that?
Nah, dude, it helps the show. Spam the crap out of that chat, please.
No, like spam comments on like check out Polkadot, check out like this project. We don't want that.
Yeah, I want as many comments in here as possible. I want to push this out. I want to push.
Don't click on any links though.
No links. But I think Danny should get a pass here. A Q, LOL. I think Danny wins today.
That's a lot of Qs. Hey, you said Qs.
I said Qs and he did it, so I think Danny wins a pass. I don't know. But,
yeah.
Sorry, I messed up your comment there.
No, I feel like that's like, I remember when I was in college, I was like, the professor was like, all right, this test, I know you guys studied a lot and stuff. Yeah, prepared a lot for it, but don't overthink it. And I went to it, and basically the fine print on the very top said, just fill out your name and turn it in, and you get 100. And a lot of people were like struggling on the test, like trying to figure it out. That's like Danny. He's like trying to get around it real quick. See the Qs over there.
I think Danny deserves a pass, dude. I think he does. He said exactly what I said in the beginning. I think he deserves a pass. I don't know.
All right. Crypto Hot News says this period I diversify my portfolio and buy more Merl and Track because I believe on those two projects. What's your strategy, guys, for this period? Buy, hodl, sell.
That's two of our biggest holdings. I think I speak for both of us, right? So it's definitely two that we definitely hold in our portfolios. I'm going to say hold for both of those right now.
Yeah, I think an approach was, try to get rid of as much junk that you can, right? And that's the hard part. Because the fungible tokens do act like NFTs over here. So if you don't have a buyer, then you're not going to be able to get rid of those. But it's like get rid of all the junk stuff that you feel like you can, and then really focus in on the conviction winners and hodl. So that's my strategy.
100%.
Crypto Mamba says, good morning. In July we fly. Yeah, let's hope so. Definitely the next 2 weeks, it seems like we're going to be back in the up and up here. But I think at least a week of uncertainty, and then maybe that second week we start feeling really bullish again heading into the conference.
Dan, real quick, Danny says, I got 2 passes. I'm Gucci. How good to pull out now? Yeah, pull them out now, 100%. And we're not talking about the Ordinal Revolution pass, Danny. We're talking about the Ordinal Hive pass. That's dropping tomorrow.
Yep. John Jones says, been loading up on anything DMT lately. Yeah, DMT's, I mean, that narrative is carrying strong. I am being selective with it, though, just because I feel like it's kind of like what we talked about with like minting spree right now. I don't want to go on a minting spree right now when I feel like it's not the time. Now, obviously, some of those will hit. So if that's your strategy, then I think that's pretty solid. If you're just like, okay, I'm going to mint a bunch of stuff at cheap mint prices, and then spray and pray, right? And a couple of these will shoot up. But I actually don't want to stress about the minting part. I picked up some Nat Cats. I picked up some Royals, which are 2 strong narrative in really strong communities and founders of those communities or whatever, right? Yeah. So that's kind of my approach of it now. But yeah. Jose Francisco says, in Germany, they tried to criminalize anonymous wallet-to-wallet transactions, but it failed. Hey, that's a congratulations to the people, because that would suck if that went through. So
that is coming here if Trump doesn't win. I guarantee peer-to-peer transactions are done in the United States if Biden wins again. Guaranteed. They're coming after you. They're coming after your non-consumer. They want to tax you on every little transaction, and peer-to-peer is not something they want.
Yeah. Cheedy says, I saw the starting price of VGAS at 0.00015, and then he
might be a scam there, buddy. I don't.
Yeah, because I don't remember. He said he followed up with it. Seeing that they debuted the price of VGAS on Twitter, it showed why many people aren't gobbling up the Rothian mines on BRC 420. I wonder how many VGAS each mine will mint on staking.
Oh shit!
Yeah, but you have to. What is that market cap? Like it's like 300,000 or something market cap. You guys think that a DEX runes token for a DEX on Merlin's going to stay at 300,000? I don't think so, but who knows? But logic tells me no, it's not going to stay there. I think that jumps up quick in my opinion. And Mauricio says Yagobi is in the Matrix. I was, man. It's crazy. It's not happening anymore. Do you see that? Dude, was someone trying to grab me and pull me into the Matrix? It was when I was talking about the tinfoil hat stuff too. I don't know, man. Yeah. Hey guys, remember, if something happens to me, it wasn't me. That's kind of scary. I just said that. Oh, this is great. John M says, only came over when Shizzy came to DMT. Look, someone converted you, and now you've converted someone from the DMT community to the Ordinal Revolution. So it's a double conversion. Love it.
Yeah, man. I just, like I said before, I need to feel it. Like it's not just something. If I'm looking at something and I don't feel it, I can't get interested into it. But once I realized that it's a really, really huge part of the tap track ecosystem, it was hard to ignore anymore. It got me bullish. So
yeah. Wendy Yam says, any thoughts on BRC 420?
So Bitmap 420, they're building, right? They're building on Bitmap BRC 420, right? So that's like the bullish thing. So BRC 420 is you know, obviously they kind of went down the tube a little bit, but I think it bounces back. I think
well, there's a big
Jeff,
update coming for the
yeah,
website,
okay.
and they're timing that. And then also there's more involvement. Like I think VDEX is going to try some sort of, you know, BRC 420 partnership for single staking. That's not official, but it's just stuff that I've seen and heard. That would be huge, right? If you be able to stake your blue box on VDEX or stake a wand there and earn in that project's tokens. So I think there's going to be a lot more to come. So I'm actually bullish on BRC 420 for the medium to longer term. Short term, you're going to have to be a little bit patient, right? So maybe August, expect that new marketplace facelift. Once that happens, I think that changes everything. Let's see. Yashir says, I personally think the Bitcoin community ignored a brilliant protocol, the Atomical protocol. Is one of the mistakes that our community committed. Hope Atomicals gains the attention. Yeah, I mean, I think we've had A on a couple of times, and we both were impressed by him. I think that the builders of projects were lacking. I think that's where it was lacking. But you got some people like in the Chinese community that are really bullish on it still. Some of them have pretty big followings, but I think that volume has to really increase, right? And that AVM, Atomicals virtual machine project needs to be released. There just needs to be stuff released. And I don't know if they're waiting for the bull market or what. I do think a lot of, you know, projects are waiting for the bull market, but I don't know.
I love A. I love with everything. He's just an intelligent, smart guy, but I just think, you know, Atomicals are dead. I think Runes is everything Atomicals is. Just with volume, and it has influencers that are pushing it, and there's no influencers that are pushing Atomicals. So I think that's the biggest thing. So I mean, it's just not going to.
I mean, that's how our industry is. I think at the end of the day, we have to accept that. You know, it's not about the tech all the time, because that's you know, let's be real. ARC20s are UTXO model tokens. They are stored, the data is stored in the op return. How much of a difference is it really than Runes? I'm sure there are some, you know, like custom stuff that Casey added in, obviously that, but it's like, you know, A is a brilliant developer that came from BSV. Like, how many people like does BSV like have as an army to like pump that up, you know? And it, I mean, don't get me wrong, Atomicals had its good little run there, you know? So if they release something astonishing to where it's easier for people, they're also going to need to really plan from a marketing perspective. So this is where my little subconscious thoughts come into play for meta protocols during the bull market, though, is there's always liquidity shifting with altcoins, right? Like it always happens. And so that's where I think, like, you know, meta protocols like Atomicals, you know, TAP, BRC20, possibly Lambda stuff, they can benefit from it. We don't know how big that can get, but we saw it last cycle with other L2s that probably didn't deserve it. You know, it was like, what's the difference between like Chronos and Avalanche in terms of like what you can do on there? There wasn't much difference, really. You know, you use the MetaMask. One might have been like 5 seconds faster. One might have been, you know, 0.1% cheaper. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's what I feel like, that's where the liquidity rotation will happen. But there will be the big winners.
Well, again, Chronos and Avalanche, you know why they were winners, and there was so many other chains that you're not talking about, but you know why they were winners is because of marketing, right? So, and that's the thing. That's why Atomicals and BRC20 is going to die, is because of the marketing. A TAP is being marketed like nothing else.
But why wouldn't you pour capital into your meta protocol in a bull market to market it? You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's when you want to spend. That's when you will spend money, and that's why those did spend money and do it.
I think you put the marketing in the bear market. That's when you want these ideas in people's
You don't
heads.
have the money for the bear market during the bear market. Well, then, and you even saw that with VCs, dude. Like, VCs weren't investing during bear market at all. You know, you had like one or two that started something, but now you look around, there's VCs everywhere, right? And so I think that
good.
I was gonna say, I think that like in a bull market where things are crazy, VCs will get riskier. And so you give your pitch to them and say, hey, look, we're already set up with this ecosystem. All we need is marketing to push it, this narrative and stuff like that. I guarantee we'll see it. And you had
when you're talking about marketing, you're talking about dollars. I'm not talking about dollars. I'm not talking about money. When was the last time you seen an atomical space? When was the last time you seen a BRC20 space? They're very far and few behind. There's a room space every single day. There's a tap space, a lot. I see community members now.
Yeah, but dollars do make a big difference. You
every
saw
2
it.
weeks.
Dollars do make a big difference because you saw it with Scree Labs.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, like having an active Discord, having activity, having people like what is building on, having builders just come out with projects that are we seen it yesterday from somebody. It was like, whoa, you know what I mean? It's but that's what I mean by the marketing.
Let's not forget about the time period when Tap was not doing anything, and there was builders there that left because it was so stagnant.
That's true. Yeah,
right.
That's
and
true.
So
now it's coming back, and the builders who did stay are the ones who are gonna like Unitap yesterday. They were there since August. So yeah, I 100% agree. But I'm just saying you don't need marketing to throw a space on. Like
you don't need marketing, but marketing will help. And if like that is your weakest thing, if you at that point you have to spend. And I'm just looking at this from like a flash in the pan for this bull run. Right. Yeah. I'm not saying like extended upon after that, because I think that it would be very dumb to not try to take advantage of this bull run if you built a meta protocol on Bitcoin's native layer already. Even if you know that you're going to be ranked number 3rd out of all of them, and there's no opcat and there's no other opcodes, but like you're the 3rd or 4th meta protocol, why would you not put your best foot forward to try to get as much liquidity as possible? That sounds horrible, but I'm just being honest, because like, you can talk about all the EVM chains like Harmony 1, like what the heck, like that had its run until the bridge exploit, right? Yeah, you had a bunch of small chains.
Domo or A's voice?
Domo's on Spaces yesterday or the day before.
Was it? What's Domo?
Yeah. Oh, he's always on the Layer 1 Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I haven't heard
A on the other hand, I haven't heard from A in a very, very long time. You're right on that one. But yeah, I mean, some of them in my, no shade being thrown here, but like
I haven't seen Domo in a space in forever.
Yeah, he was definitely in the Layer 1 Foundation one 2 days ago, or the last one. Everyone that he's on, he's on that. So
okay,
but all right, let's move on here. So Crypto Mamba asks, is decentralized a good play? What do you think about that one? You were pretty bullish initially, but
I was
backed off a little bit.
Yeah. I'm not really bullish on it anymore. The CyberKongs, it just kind of reminds me of OXBT, how it had a token and then it promised this collection that never came. Do I think the collection comes from them? Yeah. But then they went and they said, hey, there was complete separation from the CyberKongs and decentralized. And that's when I kind of left it, because I was hoping for a connection with those two, because CyberKongs are such a big piece of the Ethereum ecosystem, and I was hoping they could do something similar here. But no, I'm bearish on decentralized.
Gotcha. Yeah. Again, this is one of those things that I think that they're waiting for the bull market, and unfortunately, we're seeing more and more of this. But can they do something during the bull market? I think so. But will it have as much of an effect that it could have had, had they did something within the past like month and a half? I don't know. I'm thinking maybe not. They still can have a success because it's the bull market liquidity and stuff, but like it could be a lot bigger maybe if they just did that.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on babies?
They're terrible. They're terrible.
You hate babies?
I can like them when they're... Dude, babies are just terrible people. They don't give a shit about you. All they care about is themselves. That's it. They shit themselves and stuff. Kids and babies, they don't give a shit about you. They're the selfish pieces of shit until they get like older. Like when they get 7 or 8, then they can become cool. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of babies.
Yeah, so Abdul is obviously referring to Bitcoin babies here. So the babies are in the inscription range of 251K to 350K. Wow. Yeah, wow. And so let me share my screen here. You can see. So their price point is 0.0012 or 0.001678. Sorry, if you want to buy it. But yeah, I mean, early inscription collection. I was never huge on the Bitcoin babies, but they did have a little community going, and I just never really been huge on them. But I mean, they're little 8-bit babies here. I think maybe they're alien babies.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like, but yeah, I don't know. They are a part of like the historical, you know, ordinal collections thing. Like I throw Pingus in there too, even though like you know they dropped a lot, or Bitcoin bears. Remember Bitcoin bear cubs? All those.
Yeah.
They're part of the history because they're early inscriptions. For me, as being a collector, I love that.
Yeah, sure. This question right there.
Yeah, sure says, Yagobi, can you tell me about the Google Doc link is in the channel of your Discord? Yeah, so that I did a recording of the raffle that I did, and that link is in there as well as the Google Doc link. So the Google Doc link are all the 50 addresses that are first come, first serve whitelist addresses that are OG pass holders. So if you're one of those, then you get the first come, first serve for Ordinal Hives mint tomorrow. The way I did it is I took all 271 active addresses and I put them in a raffle, and I did a number between 1 and 10 to show how many times I would actually raffle, and it came out to 6, and I mixed those 271 addresses 6 times, and it gave me the top 50, and that is what is in that Google Doc. I hope I explained all that clearly.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay. Bunch of Qs there. All right. Mike's World says, any updates on B Squared network? Do you know any updates on B Squared?
No, they're. I mean, there's no reason for B Squared at this point. We got Merlin.
So they did have an
update.
Yeah, they did have an update though. So they partnered, not partnered. They I think they're integrating NUSD as a stable, I believe. Let me try to find that post because I'm not. Oh, there it is. BAMP. So it says partnership with BAMP. Let me pull this up real quick so everybody can see it. All right, you can see there it says a partnership with BAMP. BAMP.5 protocol is the issuer of the Nakamoto dollar, a synthetic dollar on Bitcoin layer 1. We'll work together to leverage BTC Fi. So that was the latest big one that I saw. This is pretty big though. Omnity Network. We're excited to announce the Omnity Network bridge has connected with B Squared Network. Huh? Interesting. Check out this bridge and start experimenting. So I mean, it looks like it's related to ICP. I mean, that looks like the ICP thing, powered by Omnity. What is that? I have to look into this. But yeah, so that was another announcement they had. Yeah, so just I would go visit the latest, very latest one. There's a lot, man. These guys have a lot of announcement here. It says layer 2s and evolution of Bitcoin. You can see a lot of these started off on Merlin, Merlin starter right here. So I think Merlin sets the standard in terms of being able to actually have this new network, because it's a new network of Ethereum EVM Bitcoin layer 2s, right? So we'll see what happens there. Six has asked, any news on Superfan? Maybe it's waiting on Lamb Swap. So
yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I would reach out to Superfan.
Yeah.
He was doing some crazy stuff like generative art for your ordinals that changes the state of your characters from healthy to injured to older to whatever, right? And he's using a DMT approach to that. So try to get some updates from him. Maybe we get him on the show.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think that's it, right?
Well, I think Yasser says no. I want to know where the link is for first come first served whitelist. I'm not sure. We'll post that once we get it though. We'll try to get it from them today, and we'll post it in there because it's not till tomorrow. But yeah, we'll definitely do it before the mint. But yeah, I think that wraps everything up, guys. We appreciate all 248 of y'all hanging out with us. Extended past even the Ordinal after hour here. So. Just please make sure to check out all of our partners. Ordinal Hive, they're maybe doing their soft launch tomorrow for the actual site. For sure doing the mint for the Hive passes. We'll post that link in our Discord for the first come first serve whitelist. And then Fluid tokens, guys, they have something I want to tell you guys so bad about, but I can't. But the day we can, we're going to scream it to the top of the mountaintops because it's innovative, new, and it's going to be awesome. But they do have their, I believe their dashboard will be delivered. We'll have Raul tomorrow to kind of walk through some things on their site. Keep the activity up, guys, because the dashboard is coming. You'll see all your points. Make sure you're doing your limit orders, all that stuff for the runes dex part, and then the borrowing and lending side as well, those accrue points. And then VDEX is right around the corner. I know we've said that for a while, but it is there, man. So they are a DEX on Merlin chain. And then, of course, to wrap it up, our security partner, Traverse Labs, the best security solution on Bitcoin.
100%. Real quick, though, Mr. Sheedy put a comment in here. Says, I'm reading up a little on Fractal Bitcoin. Do you think it's possible for GPU mining on the layers? There's GPU mining in Fractal Bitcoin?
I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that.
We'll have to look into that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sheedy. We'll definitely look into that for you, buddy. But if you guys wouldn't mind going over to ordinalrevolution.com, we have some of the best articles on the site. So check out all the articles here. And going to this website a few times a day, that helps us out. So guys, please, if you wouldn't mind, going to ordinalrevolution.com a few times a day. That really, really does a lot for us. Also, check out this Bitcoin Nashville. 21% off if you guys are going. We will be there. We're hoping to see a lot of you guys. It'll be really awesome to come hang out and see each other in person. So definitely come out to Bitcoin Nashville. And if you're going down, you will be able to see a Trump rally as well. So there's Trump's going to be in Bitcoin Nashville. So you're going to want to click this coupon and get in there before it sells out, or it gets crazy expensive, because that's kind of what they do. As the supply goes up, the demand gets higher, so the price goes higher. So check that out there. Let's see here. Yeah. And then, also check out our store. If you are going to Bitcoin Natural, make sure you have some of the Ordinals gear on. If it's not from us, make sure it's from someone else here. And it says my location set to Switzerland. So that's pretty cool. But so check out check out Ordinal. Yeah, so I'm in Switzerland, guys, if anyone asks. But yeah, so check out everything here. We have some amazing stuff here, so check that out. And that's our show, guys. We're live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific. So check us out all week. Tomorrow will be the last show of the week. And then we also have a update on Sunday, Ordinals market updates. So definitely check that out on Sunday. And then we're back on Monday, obviously. Are we working July 4th?
I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll announce
we'll do something. If it's not live, it will be a pre-record. We'll put something out around this time on Wednesday. We'll let you guys know. And that's the show, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.
We OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.